was gonna speak on. I grew up in a household. My parents was married for 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
Feel me? So and my dad, he got a psychology degree from Henderson State in Arkansas. You wouldn't have been that bored, okay? I'm from Arkansas. But it's nice. You go climb a mountain or something. But
I'll do that. I'll climb a mountain.
Right. Look, that's not fun. No, for real, I just climbed one. All right, but so like to his point, I only mention that because like you was talking about the psychology behind like, marriage and children. I grew up with a man who that was what he studied, you know what I'm saying? And from my angle, I've now seen kind of the reverse of seeing what a 25-year marriage of somebody that's been fronting and sad does to them afterwards, which is my mother. You feel me? So I get the whole aspect of, work it out. Yeah. You say fix something. If you scratch a CD, it's unfixable. You throw it away. Everything ain't fixable. Some things are broken and they're unusable. You feel me? Like it doesn't fixing don't mean like, yeah, it's certain your car, yeah, of course you don't want to go buy another one, it's expensive. But if my shoe if I can go get, if I'm hooping and the bottom of my shoes come off, I can go to a shoe repair shop. But who's gonna fucking do that? I'm gonna go get me some more shoes. So it is certain things that I get that you can fix. Everybody, yeah, you can go truck it out. Cool. Everything ain't worth that shit. And you are not my child, and I am not your child. So I have to love my son. I don't have to love you. You have to make it to where you are able to be loved and vice versa. You feel me? That's how I look at it. Like, nah, you stay on your shit. You stay on your job. I'm gonna stay on mine. You feel me? And that's how we rock to the day we die. If either one of those wanes, I ain't saying I'm just gonna dip, but I'm also not gonna be my mother. You feel me? That's why I wanted to state that I am a two-parent, blackity black y'all family, 5 big brothers, 1 sister, 25-year marriage. I saw it all. I'm the youngest, so I think everybody else was out the house to see how it went at the end. I just had to tell them how bad it was. You feel me? How I saw my mother lose. I mean, my mother's a thick woman. You just saw her at the show. Now she's still fine, but she's way slender. That was 10 years ago. She lost all that. You feel me? When they was divorced. Right. I see it from both ends. I get it, yes. But again, back to the Trump card is the decision. That's what you
picking process.
Somebody was gonna throw Trump in here tonight. Somebody was gonna do it. Somebody was gonna.
You know what I'm saying? No, I get it. I got it. The picking process. That's what you focus on more, so the after effects aren't what you talk about as much.
But here's what I want you to see, right? So, like for example, I would bring you in, and like let's just say you're getting ready to get married, right? Mm-hmm. And you sitting with your potential wife. I would talk to you about what you just said, right? Mm-hmm. And the fact that, because one of the most dangerous
things. My problem. Yeah, that's my problem. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna come talk to you. My problem is I saw somebody suffer for so long, and I don't want to go through it or put nobody through it. Facts. It ain't fair. You don't own nobody's life, fam. That's how. I saw my mama give her whole life to a man.
And there's 2 sides to that. One is there is no marriage that goes wrong after 25 years. It goes wrong after year 2. Somebody stayed in that for 25 years. And so, and nothing did get fixed, right? And that's a different situation. And so that's why I'm telling you, when I say in a good, stable relationship, I'm not talking about one that's toxic for 25 years.
So she should have left earlier. That's what you're saying?
Well, she might have picked wrong. Right.
That's a lot of motherfuckers, man. You talking about the lotto right here, Jack? Like, man.
Well, so for example, so the same thing that people get divorced over after 25 years, the exact same thing people get divorced over after 6 months, right? Now here's the bigger thing. Now there are I stop short of saying that there are things that are not fixable, because I've seen drug addicts become great grandfathers and preachers. I stopped short of saying I've seen it all, because every time I say that, I see some more stuff I ain't never seen. I'm like, both of y'all was tripping in the same place, and and y'all worked at it. Okay, I keep seeing new stuff. I've seen a dude get shot point blank in the head by his wife. To me, that's like her saying, "I don't really want you no more." Like, that's the definition of "I don't want you no more." And them cats work that stuff out. So, but like, just like my car, right? When my car is broken, yeah, I'm telling you, I've seen a lot, bro. But when my car is broken, here's the issue. Here's the problem. When my car is broken, I don't try to fix it myself. I take it to people who know how to fix it. And so the reason that marriages stay broken for 25 years is because they never take it to somebody who knows how to fix it. I was with a couple one time. They had been married for 20 years, and they just filed. Like, we can't do this no more. We filed. We're done. We spent one day with them. Changed their whole relationship. They still married 5 years later, loving each other and the whole nine. They just brought that to somebody who knew how to fix that, right? Because I'm looking at it, I can tell the issue right away. And it was the issue they've been having 20 years. Got fixed it, and they still had to do some work, but they illuminated some stuff that they just never saw, right? And it's just because I just knew what to do. My wife knew what to do, because we've seen it a million times. So a lot of people suffer through for 25 years because they just exist, and just gets worse. So I'll say this, and then I'm gonna be quiet for a minute, because I know I talk a lot. So, and I wish your friend was still on, because I want you to give this to her, because she said, we've been married for 6 months, and this is my best friend, right? And I love that. But here's what I want you to remember about marriage, okay? The day you get married is the most compatible you'll ever be in your entire life without work, okay? So I want you to think about an X and a Y. So you think about an X and a Y. Not chromosome, but just think about an X and a Y. So here, hold that for me real quick. So if you think about it, y'all start life, that's why opposites attract. Y'all start life here. Y'all meet and get married right here. What you don't know is that y'all are on different ways. So y'all were doing the X is what you were doing. And so that's why people say, we just grew apart. No, you were already going that way, right? You met here, y'all compatible here. You got married, not knowing y'all are going this way. What you want to do is, when you meet here, become one, become that Y, right? Instead of the X, become the Y. And that is the crux of being married. So if you say, okay, I'm gonna get married, I'm doing my own thing and the whole nine, remember, you're the most compatible you're ever going to be on the day you get married without work. All right, I'm gonna shut up.
I was gonna say, so I'm definitely not a quitter. I'm a person that tries everything and anything in their power to get it right. Like I said, I was in a horrible relationship, and we went to counseling 3 different times, 3 different people, and it takes 2 to fix something. You can't fix it on your own, number 1, and then number 2, it has to be a genuine effort. You can't just go to say that you went and that you tried. So I mean, it takes 2. If I'm in a situation, I was kind of in a situation like Q's talking about. My whole life, I was willing to do anything and everything to fix the situation. But if you're not willing to do your part or be honest about the issues or whatever, then there's nothing we can fix, you know? I'm definitely not a good person, but it's just, it comes to a point where you're like, I can't do it on my own. So
here's the great thing.
I think it's easy to say, I don't think that it's personal to me, but I think it's easy to say anything is fixable, put in the work. If you have the will, there's a way. Like, I think it's really easy to throw those things out there, but you can't do it on your own. There's no way.
The good thing about being a female, right? And my wife is standing here, so if I'm lying, she's going to tell you, right? There has not been one time that, because men are pretty similar, a woman can go in and you know, we're talking about going to counseling. I'm not, you know, most counselors are there to get your money, right? And so they want you to keep coming to counseling, and so they're just the referee, and they'll do that, right? They're not not concerned about fixing it, right? So, like, for example, if I take my car in and get fixed and they don't fix it, I take it to another mechanic. It's not, the issue is not my car can't be fixed. The issue is that you can't fix it, right? I just need a better mechanic. Now, so whenever, the benefit of being a female is that there's not been one time when over the past 15 or so years, we've had when couples are having problems, the man does not want to come to counseling because in his mind, the woman just wants to get somebody to gang up on me, right? And a lot of times that's what's happening in counseling, right? So no, he doesn't want to come. There's two things that have happened every single time. So because I will tell women, you can come in by yourself. You know, me and my wife will counsel with you. We'll train you because it's more training than counseling. And if you do what we say, you don't even have to ask. He's showing up on the third one. He never fails. Okay. And if you do what we say, regardless of what he does, my wife was able to train a woman, and she was 20 states away, 5 time zones away, and her man had moved in with another woman. Okay. And she told her, you do what I say, he gonna come home. And he came home. Right. And they still traveling the world together. And it's not because Pastor Washington said this is great or my wife is so great. This is what the Bible says. The Bible says one can do it. Right. It only takes one. Right. Somebody asked me today, what is the one thing that marriage taught you?
They're both like, why does she want him to come back? Their face.
Well, yeah, I mean that's a different thing. Now
that's that car that can stay broke.
Right. I stopped short of abuse. Now, if somebody's trying to kill you, don't come to me saying I want my man to come home. Now, he's trying to kill you. Don't do that. Right. That short of abuse.
Muted. I'm sorry.
Right. Hilarious. Short of abuse, it works every time. But you've gotta and once again, it's not because I'm that smart. That's what the Bible says. The Bible says sanctify a husband will make a sanctified wife. Matter of fact, it even tells the wife, if your man is out there and doing stuff contrary to the word, and this is crazy, you as a wife can win him without the word. I'm like, and the word says that you can do that without the word. So think about this. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm trying to get out of here. I'm trying my best. The most powerful voice in a man's life is not God's voice. It's his woman's voice. And I got Bible for that because God told Adam, don't eat this. Eve said, hey, here you go. What did he do? Yeah. Damned us all.
I'm going to need to come to the Washington Center for some training.
They were still walking around naked at that point. That's why.
Yeah, why can't we get back to that? Dang it, Adam, messed the whole thing up, bro. You know, but the thing is, and when women learn, I teach women all the time, use your female, right? Use your female. Y'all got some. If y'all knew the power you had, whoo boy.
No,
y'all
okay, now, D, now you and I gonna have to have some tea about that sometime soon. Then.
Right?
Woo. All right, I'm out.
We're gonna have to have some tea. Hey, I'm gonna make my appointment real soon so we meet for tea. Just saying. What don't I know? Please tell me. Show me my blind spots, please. All right.
I got you.
Thank you so much. So I had a post that that I put up. I'm trying to get to it on Facebook because I won't have to get up again to go get my phone to pull up Instagram. But did y'all see my post about the books that me having gone to the ER, and then I went to have prize books after I left the ER, and you know, in my still what is it? Here we go again. Hydrocodone induced state. And I came home with a very interesting selection of books, right?
So you were buying books on hydrocodone?
Well, yeah.
You got a whole library in there, crazy stuff.
Listen, so the first set of books that I posted were actually books that I just took pictures of so I could come back to later because I knew I was on a budget. But the second set of books that I posted are the books that I actually came home with, and one of them. Specifically, I'm going to reference a little bit later on in conjunction with my announcement that I told y'all about, right? But in the post, I was talking about what I understood the word of, or my understanding of the word sex, S-E-X, right? And just to kind of reiterate, for those of you who didn't see the post, I said that, and I'm actually kind of proud of how I worded this thing. I said that my understanding of the word is actually as an acronym for spirit or sacred energy exchange. And I went on to say that based on this understanding, the act has a larger meaning than, shall we say, merely scratching an itch. Okay? The act is not meant to be a recreational sport. Rather, sex is meant to be a vehicle through which both parties gain a deeper understanding of self and each other. I also went on to say that we should be very mindful of whom we decide to exchange spiritual energy with, don't you think? Translation, kids, don't try this at home, okay? Okay. So, with all that, huh?
I said, read the small print.
Oh, yeah. Come on, read the small print too now, because everything ain't for everybody. But I digress. So, that being said, do you agree with my, this is a 3-part question at this point, right? The first part of it is, do you agree with my assessment of what sex actually is? And then why or why not? And I'm going to start.
It's pretty recreational, though.
I'm sorry?
It's pretty recreational, though.
I agree with your assessment.
I do agree, but there is some.
But I do plan on some extracurriculars later on.
Well, shall we say it has recreational value? However, is that the sole? I mean, is that what we should be treating this merely as?
No, I mean,
no, I'm not saying you treat it casually. No, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And I do think that it creates connections that you want to make sure you're connecting with the person you should be connecting to. You know, that you want to be connected.
Stay connected to.
You know, I never thought about this till just now. So okay. I'm sorry, I just had an epiphany. So this I never thought about this.
Oh Lord.
So y'all ready for this?
I'm not.
No, this
I'm
is
afraid.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
We all sitting on the edge of our seat.
He is liable to say anything. I forgot to tell y'all. He is liable to say absolutely anything. So I'm scared for real, but go ahead.
No, this is a simple one.
It's kind of a loose cannon. I attest to that.
But this is a very simple one. This is not off the chain, and y'all probably already know this. I just had an epiphany. So we look at all these things. We talk about, the Bible, 2 becoming 1, right? We talk about, in sex, you're exchanging the whole 9. And we talked about, I can go in the room right now and she knows what I'm thinking, right? This is just a theory. But what if sex is one of the things that caused that? That exchange, the melding into one. The exchange over so many years. I mean, so you got older couples, they start looking together. Looking the same, acting the same. Like she said, we can see the same thing and we have the same internal joke at the same time and laugh at the same time and never said anything.
Or we might break into the middle of a random song just out of nowhere at the same time. It's kind of creepy sometimes. The kids are freaked out by it, but it's hilarious.
So what if sex is one of the things that cause the melding of the minds, the bodies, and the souls into one over time?
It is.
Just a thought. I never thought about it.
Yeah.
You got a good old north south for me.
There is an exchange. So
yeah, there's an exchange, all right.
And it has been said. Did y'all hear that?
The gulp.
It has been said, I believe, again, I don't know. I don't have any sources to give y'all at the present time. Research, Google it yourself, okay? See, prove me wrong later by Googling, okay? But it has been said in certain scientific circles that exchange happens down to the DNA level.
Mm. Well, I guess theoretically it has.
There's DNA.
Yeah, there's DNA.
So
it's exchanging.
That's an interesting.
I'm just gonna leave that part at a ... as my answer. Does anybody else want to add to that? What my statement was that do you agree with my assessment of what sex actually is based on what I read to y'all from my post? QP, what you got?
I'm sorry, I told you.
Hey, run, man, run.
I'm good. I told you I was deep in it.
Hey, my recording, we got your back, Doc.
We go right. At least I'm on.
They got your back.
Not like that stops them though. Goddamn. No, but
I got people in high places. We got you covered. Don't worry about it.
For sure. Yeah, it's definitely a exchange of energy. and understanding. I like when you said like understanding each other more, because you do. It's like, and then to me, the best sexual exchange is when like you don't have to say nothing, or like you ain't gotta say, "Oh, touch me here, do this, do that." Like it's just like it's almost musical. You know what I'm saying? It's like y'all moving in sync. So yeah, I guess that would be like the exchange, or like after a while you want to get more in sync. You know what I'm saying? So the energy y'all just give each other, it just put y'all in the same mind state. You know what I'm saying? As you move, and it's like a dance together. So yeah, I do agree with that.
Ali.
Yes, I agree. It is definitely exchange. That's why it doesn't even take a year. I mean, that's why it's hard to get out of a relationship if you start engaging intimately before you know what it is that you're wanting out of it, and there's a connection, and it's hard to let go. So there's the spirits that are passing from one to another, and you do become likeness with the other person when you're engaging intimately. So,
Myduza.
I agree with you. It's like I said earlier, I'm one of those people that if I decide that there's a connection there, that I give it all, and that's part of that. It's just part of that connection, feeling someone on a deeper level, and that's what, again, one of my issues with the casual thing is that I don't see how that's possible. There's so much you give of yourself. Like there's so much you give of yourself, and how can you connect like that on that level with so many people? Like, I don't know. So it's just, to me, yes, it's definitely spiritual, emotional, psychological components to it that you can't disconnect from.
Fair assessment. Part B of that question is, do you think that by and large people approach the act in a way that is respectful to themselves? Why or why not?
Is respectful or not respectful?
That is respectful.
Probably. I mean, if you're casually just out there with whoever shows up, then no. But
why would casual engagement be not be respectful to themselves? Was the other part of that?
Because you don't know what you're getting, for the most part. You don't know if this is the kind of person that you want to be connected to. You don't know, you could have a kid, you could catch any kind of disease. You don't know if you want to have a kid with this person, and that kid is going to be part them, and they're going to have some of those traits and, exhibit some of that behavior, even if they're not around them. It's just, DNA is DNA. It's hardwiring. And so if it's just not taken lightly, because like the other lady said, it's not easy to disconnect, emotionally, once you've connected and tied yourself to somebody like that, even if it is a bad relationship. So it's better to find out what you're dealing with, and if that person is compatible, if that person is worth being connected to, if that person is worth giving yourself to. And I'm saying worth from your perspective. Like, you can be a great person for somebody else, but just maybe not for you. And I think you just need to find that out before you take it to that level, which takes time. And I don't think people allow time, because maybe they think the person's going to leave or going to go find it somewhere else, or I don't know, maybe they don't think they have options for that. But yeah, there's so many people out there. I tell my girls, they're 20 and 18 now. I tell them,
read that.
There's always a line. If the person you're with is acting up or tripping, there's a line. Somebody else is out there. And my boys are younger, so I haven't had to talk, to them about that, because they're only 14 and well, he's getting there, I guess, 14 and 12. But I stress to my girls the picking process, things, pay attention, figure out if this person is compatible, for you. Not that they're a bad person, or they just may not be your person. And that's okay, you know.
Right.
And so just, you know, don't get locked into a situation that you know, you're stuck in some weird relationship, or you're miserable, or because life is too short. And being married to a great person, the person that you're supposed to be married to, is wonderful and fantastic. And is it perfect? No. Do we have, you know, we're two different people, so we're gonna have our own opinions. Silly. We're gonna have our own opinions about things, but you know, when it's right, it's right, and it's good. And when it's wrong, it can be real wrong. So you just want to find that out before you're so involved.
Anybody else have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I'm going to jump in and say that if you are a mature person, then I feel like whether it's casual, whether it's long term, whatever the case might be, I think that it's still, what was the word that you used, respectful?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's themselves. Still, yeah, respectful to yourself, because you know what you're willing to get involved with and what you're not willing to get involved with, and what you're comfortable with and what your line is. And so I think as long as you know where your boundaries are, where your lines are, then it's respectful. The only time that I find, so I'm a high school teacher, the time that I find that it's disrespectful is when people don't know their boundaries, don't know their lines, they feel coerced into it or forced into it, or like it's something they should do, like the guys were saying earlier, then yes, but I feel like that's more lack of maturity than actual being disrespectful to your body kind of thing.
That's fair. Anybody else?
What was the question? I'm sorry, I'm just listening too much.
Right on. That's all good. The second part of the question was, do you think people approach the act of sex in a way that is respectful to themselves by and large? Why or why not?
No, they don't.
Mm.
You mean on like a large scale? No.
By and large, yeah.
You said should they? Yeah,
no, do you think that they are engaging in it in a way that's mm-hmm.
No, and then we wouldn't be talking about all this other stuff, right?
That's you. You got a point.
The whole issue.
I mean, like, I got a point.
Yeah, no. Right, I mean, but then again, it's like I don't think we need to talk as in like, I don't know. I you know, who makes those decisions at 17, 18 the right way all the time? You know what I'm saying? 19, 20, regardless of if you like to think that because you know somebody, it's a better chance that some of those things she said won't happen because you know them longer. But shit, that don't mean it ain't been happening. Like, you might not just know about it. Not saying, you know, that's the conversation or the situation. I'm saying, like, I don't look at it like that. Like, you wake up and every day we proving each other who we are, like, in different ways. I don't give no pass like that.